I want to partner with people who are either someone that can do what I cannot do, or someone that can do exactly what I can do, but I don't have the bandwidth to do both. So in that situation, I'm partnering with somebody who's like, dude, you are pretty much me, but I can't do what I'm doing and that. So how about you do that? Give me a piece of it and let me give you all my contacts, all my knowledge, all my everything, and make you into a version of me that dominates that industry. And for me, that's kind of how I view a partnership. So weirdly, that's how I view you. You are me because you're an integrator and I'm an integrator, but you're also a visionary. You don't believe in yourself, but you are. You're a visionary. I mean, you're a photographer, you're an artist, you've got the eye, you know what looks good. Like I
have 2 eyes.
You have 2 eyes, right? and both are talented. So you've got that eye of what it takes to build the vision. And like I run every vision by you, not as an integrator, I run it by you as a visionary. And then afterwards, I get into the logic with you. But I think that's like one of the key components. In my company, I view you as the one thing that every business owner wants, which is a clone. I have another version of myself in you that I can, because we've spent 10 years together. You've been to every seminar I've been to. You know the knowledge I know. So it's like a secondary mental bank. I can be like, oh yeah, what happened on that thing? And you're like, it was this. I'm like, thanks. But it enables us both to go and tackle and knock things out of the park. All right, so what would you say is the hardest part about working with your partner, with someone you're dating?
Oh, I don't even know. I mean, I like it. I don't really, all my previous jobs and stuff that I have as well too was like with people, like I didn't have like romantic relationship, but I had like a really good friend relationship as well too, right? That's actually for me was very important in general. I prefer having good connections with people that I work with over the financial gain, basically, personally, right? Because it's more rewarding for me. It makes it more enjoyable, right? Than just paycheck, per se. So the most difficult part about working with you, no, I don't know, to be honest with you. Like I struggle.
Great.
I mean,
well,
I mean, not for the partner. You personally, you're a bit visionary, so you zigzag quite fast. But again, I learned to pivot to adjust for it. But just that's your personality type. That has nothing to do with you being my partner per se, basically, So.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, and I think, on the flip side, I would love to be like, oh, this is a problem, that is a problem. But I think this is just good for everyone in dating. I've learned to love all the things that other people would consider your flaws, right? So if someone made a list of, oh, these are all the things I think are wrong with you, everything on that list, I'm like, I won't change a thing. Like,
well, again, it's good to channel those, right? Like, so yeah. if I'm too, demanding, for example, right? Well, it's good. It's with attention to details, right? Directed in different ways, basically, right? Like, so
I love it.
Put it where your flaws will be serve as benefits, I would say.
And that's the thing, but I love that. Like what you describe as demanding or what other people describe as demanding, I like it because I tell people behind your back, I'm like, she holds me to a higher level of quality than I would normally hold myself. Like I'll normally be like, oh, this doesn't matter. And you're like, it matters. I'm like, it matters. But I like that because you hold me to a higher degree of quality.
Yeah, exactly. So again, like kind of channel that in, right? If someone is lazy, for example, right? Like a good example you always say is that lazy people find how to simplify the task so they don't have to spend too much time doing that, basically, right? So channel that in instead of be like, oh, you lazy, don't work hard. Like, well, let them work smart because that's their strong suite.
Yeah, and actually that's a really good point. I love that. It's worth if you're dating someone who you think is lazy, but at one point you dated them because you thought they were smart or talented or whatever it was, reach out to them and be like, how can I make this more efficient?
Exactly.
And they'll look at it and be like, oh, you don't need to do this, you cut this off. Oh, if I did that, I'd do it with my eyes closed and this would be done. That's really cool skill. I love that analogy. So when you're with someone, there really shouldn't be any part of them that you're like, oh, I don't like this about them or I wish this would change. You should like them exactly as they are. And if not, and now I'm going to throw out the fact, remember I was a dating coach for many, many years and still am, you've got the wrong person. And that's just how it is. They're the wrong person. And no matter how much you want to believe they're not the wrong person, like, well, it's only this much I don't like about them. No, like, I love what people would consider her flaws. Like, I love it. For me, it's perfect. And there are definitely times, and I'm sure it goes the other way as well, where you do something, I'm like, oh, fuck. But I'm not upset about it. It's secretly, I'm laughing because I'm like, oh, I love it when she does this. But publicly, I'm like, oh no, this is terrible. But then behind the door, I'm like, God, I love that she did that. Like, it was so funny, right? Because I just love that about you. And I think it is important before you work with your partner, if you're going to build something together, make sure that you know that you two want to be together. If you've built something and you're bringing somebody in, make sure they're the right fit to come in before you bring them in, and that they start at the lowest level and work their way up so you can get them out if need be. And if you're coming into somebody else's thing, make sure it's what you want to do and you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you. Because I think that's another key component. Because if you do a job for your partner and you don't really care about it and you don't get any internal validation, that's also going to be a problem. Like Eve said, she does things for herself. And actually, I think a key point as well is like in our company, we have lanes. And I always say to people, stick to your lane. Eve has a lane and I have a lane. And one of the biggest issues we have with staff is when they try and change lanes to somebody else because they prefer the answer somebody else gives. So I know I'm a preference for people to come to because I'm always like, hey, what do you need? Let's help you out. But you will get blocked on anything that's in her lane. So if someone's like, I just need the dates for this thing, ask Eve. Like, yeah, but I know you have them, ask Eve. Yeah, but you can get it, ask Eve. And it's like, why? What they don't realize is what I'm really saying is, I don't want conflict in my relationship where she says, why are you giving out information? That's my lane. That's what I'm in charge of. So I own the lane. Now, if Eve repeatedly failed, if she didn't give them the information, then what I would actually do is sit down with her and say, hey, I don't think you can do this lane anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's like, hey, is that because you're around or you just hate doing that, right? If you're around, let's hire someone else. If you hate doing that, let's hire someone else to do that, right? Like, it's ultimately that, right? Keep business a business and personal emotions are the personal emotions, basically, right? Like, so just because your partner failed to do this X one thing doesn't mean like, oh, you're the bad partner, No, it means, that particular person failed to perform the task. Find out why, and solve that versus yell at them that they failed,
And on that point, and I think this is really important, remember, there is salary and there is profit. It's okay for you to be a 50-50 profit share with your partner, even if they're not doing much work. And here's why. Both of you should be receiving the profit for doing no work. In a good company, the profit you get that is split 50-50, both of you should be sitting having Mai Tais on a beach somewhere. The work is paid on a salary. Meaning, if me and Eve are 50-50 in this company, but I never go to work and I just hang out with the kids all day, but she's in the office every day, she should be on a salary of about 250 grand a year to be in the office every day. And then at the end of the day, after everything's done, we'll split the profit 50-50. So she'll get 250 grand salary plus 50% of profits. That should be the dream of every company. So it's okay if you're not doing the work. You don't do the work for profit, you do the work for a salary. Likewise, I mentioned earlier, in our company, when you sell something, you get commission, whether it's me or her. So if I sell something, I keep the commission. If she sells it, she keeps the commission. And that's another key component because it enables us. Let's just invent a really silly business right now and we'll use silly math. Let's just say we're selling something for $10,000 and the cost to do anything is $5,000 and the commission is $1,000. Just to keep the math simple. It means that of every $10,000 sale, there is only $4,000 available as profit. $5,000 is the cost, $1,000 is the commission, leaving us $4,000. So on a $10,000 sale, Eve would get $2,000 as a 50% partner, I would get $2,000 as a 50% partner, $5,000 would be used as costs, of which Eve might receive $2,500 as her salary. And then there is $1,000 for the commission. If Eve made the commission, she gets that $1,000. So out of the $10,000, she gets $2,500 as her salary for doing the job, $1,000 for the commission, putting her at $3,500, and an extra $2,000, putting her at $5,500. I would get $2,000, and somebody else in our company or the other team would get the other $2,500. When you structure your business correctly, you don't have conflict. I don't have to work to get the profit because that's what it is. It's profit. In the same way, and I'll finish on this point because I think it's important. I own Facebook shares. But if Mark Zuckerberg turns up at my door and asks me why I haven't done any work to receive the profits I'm getting from them, we're going to have an issue. Because I don't work for my profit of the shares that I own. Likewise, in our company, I do not work to receive the profit of the shares that I own. It's a gift. I choose to work in it because it's fun, and when I work, I get paid a salary or an amount of money for doing the work, but it's separate from the profit that I receive.